Sometimes the problem isn't in the effort, it's in the direction that you're taking. I wasn't chasing money, I was actually chasing time. And I thought I was being responsible, but I was actually running. You think you know, but you have no idea. This is Late Bloomer Confession, episode 8. When the dream isn't yours. Now, allow me to provide you with context for this next chapter. The year is 2015. Me and my wife, we decided to relocate. This was the year after my father passed away. So we wanted to move closer to my family. And I decided to come from being over the road to start to drive and find some local jobs to have more time at home to spend with loved ones. During this, I was still writing occasionally, even when I was over the road. I'm still writing lyrics in my head. Every now and then I would get, the urge or the inspiration. I hear something dope and then I would want to write something. But music itself, as a focus, it wasn't a priority at all. It was actually on the back burner because now, in this phase of my life, it's less about the desire and more about the responsibility of paying the bills, going to work, making an income. Before you can do what you want, you have to do what you need. So, with that being said, like I said, we relocated closer to home, closer to Chicago. Now, there was a specific day, I was at home for some reason, and I heard an ad. I think it was either on TV or it couldn't have been on the radio because I was at home, but I heard an ad, and the ad, it was advertising this free seminar. Come learn how to invest in real estate and become a millionaire. Of course, like I said, my responsibility is I need to pay the bills. I need to find an income. I'm between jobs. What better than to learn how to invest in real estate, where quote unquote 90% of all millionaires earn their wealth. That's the saying, right? So I dragged my wife to this free seminar, and it's a small room of, maybe 50, 60 people. And the instructor, he's, explaining to us what real estate investing is and the basics of it and all of that. And he did a good job of selling it. So much so that at the end, he presented the opportunity to attend another seminar. This next seminar is a much larger seminar where the instructor is going to go way deeper than I did to teach you how to actually invest in real estate. This seminar costs $100. It's a small fee of one. I don't think it was 100. It was like 99. The psychology of the lower number. $99. That's it. And there's a 3-day seminar. Make sure you bring your pen and your pad and take notes because he's going to go deep with you guys. Pause. He's going to tell you a lot. You're going to get a lot of information and you're going to be happy that you went. So, long story short, we went to this next, and I was, sold on, the idea of real estate investing. And so much so that I actually told my mom about it and my mom wanted to come. So now it was me, my mom, and my wife. And, we go to this 3-day seminar downtown Chicago. And of course, large seminar, it's big production, big presentation. He's selling the dream of getting rich in real estate. And, he's going through, different monologues, and he did a very good job. They do really good. These presenters and these quote unquote gurus and mentors, they do really, really good at selling you on stuff. And at the end of it, the last day, the third day of the seminar, you actually have the opportunity now to join the mentorship, where we'll take you by the hand and we'll show you exactly what it is we do for only $10,000. Now, of course, we're sold. By this time, my wife, I don't think she was with us on the third day, but it was me and my mom, and we like, man, I think we should do it. So we're sitting at the table and, you know what I'm saying, we're talking to this guy. And of course, he's like, you know, do you have it? But I say, woo, he's continuing to sell it. And there was something, though, in me was like, you know what? I don't think this is a good idea. I don't know about this. Let's hold off. Let's not make this huge investment, because I had it, but it would have been everything that I had to invest in this opportunity. Now, thankfully, I did not take that leap, because later on I learned that there were other individuals who made that leap and who invested the money, not just in this particular company, but there were other companies as well that were doing the same exact thing, using the same exact method, free to small fee to upsell to bam, $10,000. And some people that actually invested that money did not see a return. Actually, the majority of people that invested that money did not see a return. So I never made that investment. However, like I said, they did a good job, so good that I am still sold on the dream of becoming rich with real estate. Because you know why? If I can become rich in real estate and I don't have to drive trucks anymore all day, every day, I can now focus more on my music. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal. So now I'm doing my own research. You know, I'm joining different groups online. I joined Bigger Pockets. For those of you all who don't know, shout out to Bigger Pockets, Brandon and I forgot, Josh and Brandon. Brandon Turner, I bought both his books. I read through his books, how to be a landlord, how to find property. I'm actually really, really digging into this thing. I joined my local RIA, that stands for Real Estate Investing Association. Every single district, is city, it's everyone has one. If you're interested, join your local RIA. You'll learn a lot. And I was really, really, really 10 toes down, boots on the ground, you know, and I started to actually make some things happen. I started my first LLC, and I landed on wholesaling. And so, of course, wholesaling is where you know, can get into real estate at little to no cost, just, you know, just to start. And then afterwards, you know what I'm saying, you can have or build up to actually having the capital. If you don't have the capital, that's a great way to start. But once you build up the capital, then you can actually go ahead and start to invest in these properties. But beforehand, as a wholesaler, you're just selling the rights to purchase these properties at a discount. So either way, you know, I'm actually really doing it. I'm sending out mailers. I'm cold calling. I'm door knocking. I'm driving for dollars. You know, I'm doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, you know, to get started in real estate. But there was something still not, because there was some things that happened where, you know, there was a real estate agent who tried to snake me on a deal. That's a story for another day. There were people that I was talking to, you know what I'm saying, it was just rubbing me wrong. You got fake gurus, fake mentors taking people's money or trying to get people to, you know, swipe their credit cards and max out their credit cards for their benefit. It's so much that's going on in real estate, and I'm still pushing through because I believe in the dream. So I pushed through, and I potentially landed on this lead that came from my local RIA. It was an older gentleman. He was getting older in age, and he was becoming ill, and he was looking to downsize and get rid of some of his properties. And he wanted to, give one of his properties to one of the members of the local RIA, and not just a random person. And that person just happened to be me because I made the phone call. So I made the phone call. I hung up with that gentleman, but something did not feel right, man. I don't know what it was. I think I got to a little argument with my wife, and they left. She took the kids and she left, and I was just sitting there. I was just like, man, even though I'm this close to succeeding, something just doesn't feel right, man. And so I called my big brother, and I'm talking to my big brother, and I'm explaining to him the situation. And you know what he told me? He was like, bro, you feel that way because you're not doing what you love to do. Get back to your passion. And when he said that to me, it all came back. The fire, thinking about music again, thinking about what I was passionate about, what I loved. That's what was missing in all of this. I wasn't doing real estate because I enjoyed it. I was chasing something that wasn't even me. And this is where the lesson lies. The dream, it was still a viable dream. So the dream itself wasn't wrong. It just wasn't mine. I was chasing freedom, chasing money, but I was running away from myself. Bring it back to you. What are you doing simply because it sounds good, it sounds profitable, it sounds responsible? Where are you ignoring that quiet voice in your head telling you, hey, this ain't right. Hey, we need something different. If money wasn't the goal, what would you choose? And that's the lesson for today. If you enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed this story, feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know your story. And if this resonated with you and you like to continue the journey with me, the journey of becoming a late bloomer, I actually have a project. This project is exclusive. This project explains another late bloomer's journey, and it goes into depth as far as my why you shouldn't wait too late. This late bloomer understood his purpose and recognized his purpose a little too late. This is what we try to prevent. It's never too late until it's too late. If this is something that interests you, piques your curiosity, like I said, this isn't available to the public. I only make this available to my late bloomer tribe. Nobody else has access to this project. If this interests you at all, if this piques your curiosity, there's a link in the description. Hit the link in the description, enter your information, and you will get instant access. And who knows, if you stay locked in with me, you just might be able to walk the trail along the path of my journey. But until we meet again, I bid you all farewell. God bless.